14, the right news at the right time, and the Spirit of Community Award winner. This is Fox 14 News at 9.
It's one of the most popular scams worldwide, and it's being used in the ArkLaMiss. More on the quick change scam targeting businesses and who police believe is behind it. And an ICE detainee is found dead in his cell at Richwood. We'll tell you what we've learned from the Department of Homeland Security. Plus, Louisiana sheriffs reveal how they're using technology to fight against child predators. We'll tell you about the new Safe Virtual Neighborhood app. Thank you for choosing Fox 14. I'm Sarah Scarlett. First on Fox, multiple businesses off of Highway 165 have become victims to 3 scammers who are causing confusion and walking away with double the money they walked in with. Fox 14's Maya Hudgens is back from talking with police and residents on what's going on. Maya?
Sarah, quick change scam is one of the most popular scams criminals use. The suspects usually get away with it because businesses rarely report these crimes to the police.
When you drive into Alla, it's a place where everyone's welcomed, but this greeting was stripped away as 3 men performed a quick change scam on Speedy Mac's gas station.
I'd be very shaken up about it, like to have somebody come in and they don't really know us and we don't know them and just take advantage of us. It's crazy.
October 13th, 2 black males came into the gas station. The elderly one bought a fountain Coke and paid with a $100 bill. As the clerk gave his change back, he pulled out $2 and asked if he could pay with that instead, and then asked for his $100 bill back.
You know, I'm sure it made sense that he needed to get his money back since he paid for it with 2 ones. He inevitably left the business with, approximately $200 that he didn't show up with.
This is the perfect scenario. As the money is being handed back and forth, the 2 males distract the clerk by starting a conversation. And it's not until later she realizes she was scammed.
It's a trick that's been used several times, and we've seen it all over the place.
Police officials say these scams happen along Highway 165 and I-20, but they don't hit the same city twice in one day. Once Alla police posted this on Facebook, 12 businesses up 165 within a 100-mile radius said it had happened to them as well.
People come in and really take advantage of you like that. You got to be more cautious.
That's exactly what police are asking businesses to do. Be aware of large sums of money, people preying on workers who are new, younger, talkative, and in a hurry. As of now, police believe the suspects are not from this area and the license plates may be fake.
Alla police say they are still investigating but have identified 1 male but aren't releasing a name right now. In addition, they ask if anyone knows any information to contact the officials. In the studio, Maya Hudgens, Fox 14 News.
Thanks, Maya. An ICE detainee in custody at Richwood Correctional Center has died. That's according to a spokesperson with LaSalle Corrections. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has identified the detainee as Royland Hernandez-Diaz. Diaz was found unresponsive in his cell just after 2 p.m. yesterday. Now, it appears he likely strangled himself. The case is currently under investigation. Hernandez-Diaz has been in ICE custody since May 20th. He was trying to enter through a port of entry in El Paso, Texas. The U.S. Border Patrol deemed him inadmissible under the Immigration and Nationality Act. His claim for an immigration benefit was still pending with the federal immigration courts when he died. This is a developing story, and we'll share more details as they become available. New at 9, the search for a missing construction worker at the site of that collapsed hotel in New Orleans may soon turn into a recovery mission. Dogs will do one more sweep of the building today, and if no live hits are detected, the effort will switch to recovery tomorrow. So far, 1 body has been pulled from the wreckage, another body remains inside the building, and a 3rd person is missing. The 2nd body has been identified, but a name has not yet been released. Investigators say the body remains in an unstable part of the building that crews cannot access safely.
But the odds of survival are, I would say, 0 if we don't get a hit of any indications of a live person by tonight.
Cranes at the site are unstable, posing a danger to those crews, as does the weather, with possible tropical conditions on the way. The husband and children of a New Orleans reporter who died in a small plane crash this summer are now suing the plane's owner and engine maker. The lawsuit alleges that the plane carrying former WVUE TV news anchor Nancy Parker had a defective engine. The lawsuit is against owner Drug Fighters Enterprises and Lycoming Engines. The plane was piloted by Franklin J.P. Augustus, who was also killed in the crash. The plane had a delayed takeoff that day due to mechanical problems. 69-year-old Augustus was eventually granted clearance for an emergency landing at the airport, but the National Transportation Safety Board says the plane never even turned around. Online predators are becoming more clever with technology to target unsuspecting children. Now there's an app that's fighting back. Safe Virtual Neighborhood is a new app that can watch and monitor children's phone calls, text, and social media activity on their smartphones. Here's how the app works. Parents and guardians download the app onto their child's smartphone. The app then monitors and scans all phone calls, emails, text, and social media activity on the phone. Now, if a registered sex offender makes contact with the child, the parent or guardian is immediately alerted from there. Parents are asked to contact local law enforcement and talk to their child about phone safety.
What we're going to do now is take it beyond the physical yard. The internet has expanded to the point where offenders can communicate to your children right there in the living room. The sheriffs have taken a proactive stance, and as the community, the environment has changed, we've been able to adapt new technology to protect children.
Parents and guardians can download the app or learn more at offenderwatch.com. A Bastrop man has been indicted on federal firearms charges linked to the July 2018 burglary of Simmons Sporting Goods. 32-year-old Brandon Keith Harris is facing charges of possession of a stolen firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and theft of firearms from a federal firearms licensee. If convicted, Harris faces up to 10 years in prison and fines for each offense and supervised release. Some big economic news for one of the river parishes. Today, the governor unveiled an $8.1 million investment at the Madison Parish Port. The project will include the installation of an 8-inch natural gas pipeline at the port of the Mississippi River. $500,000 comes from the port, $3.6 million from Louisiana Economic Development, and $4 million from Complex Chemical, the port's anchor tenant. The investment will lead to 20 additional direct jobs and could continue to help the parish attract other businesses to the area. This morning, the Ruston-Lincoln Chamber joined 300 other chambers across the nation in a live stream viewing party on how businesses can grow with Google. The purpose of the workshop was to help small businesses learn how to improve their marketing plans just in time for the holiday shopping rush. Topics included online advertising and email marketing.
It's not too late, but you don't want to wait until Black Friday or the week of Black Friday to throw out some promotions. You want to have that plan and utilize the internet to help utilize Google to help your business to grow.
If you were unable to attend today's workshop, the Chamber will have a copy of the stream video on their website. Louisiana Department of Veterans Affairs hosted an event today to speak with the VA Secretary, where he shared how he's helping veterans in Louisiana. Fox 14's Hunter Elise is back from the event with more.
The Secretary of the Louisiana Department of Veterans Affairs has been touring the state. Joey Strickland is on a mission to show veterans they're not forgotten and that the help they need is available.
We're getting out across the state, hosting town hall meetings, meeting with the veterans. I brought my staff of experts with me to see what the needs are, file claims for them, help them with any issues or problems they may have.
The goal is to guide vets through benefit programs and serve every veteran like their family.
I am a veteran. I'm a retired colonel with 30 years in the Army.
Strickland's military background is why he loves connecting fellow veterans with the VA.
It has a special meaning. Meaning for me, I'm a father of 5 children, and 4 of them are U.S. Army. And 3 of them are combat veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan. And I married a lady that grew up in the Army. So it's all about the veteran.
Although events like this are meant to help vets transition to civilian life, the lack of veteran participation threatens the future of these types of events.
Even young veterans have service-connected disabilities. Then they need the DAV and the VFW and the Veterans Administration. But we really need them, the younger veterans, to take action and engage to keep things going.
The VA Secretary says he treats every day as Veterans and Memorial Day, serving others to the best of his ability. Communities in Monroe are giving donations by the dozens to help the needy for World Food Day. The St. Vincent de Paul Society is working with several churches in the area, including Jesus the Good Shepherd Catholic Church, to collect donations for hungry families in the area. The church is also praying for these families in their masses tonight. We also reached out to the Food Bank of Northeast Louisiana to find out just how much our area is impacted by food insecurity.
I think hunger in this area might surprise people. For a lot of people, they really don't have enough money at the end of their paycheck to really have any extra food.
And the food bank was also playing their part in giving back today, handing out dozens of boxes of food to seniors in need. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning to hear more about those being affected by food insecurity and how you can help to give back. And now, Jared joins us from the Weather Center. It's great to see them give back, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and a good cause as well. A nice day to give back with the clearing skies and plenty of sunshine, very fall-like across the region. Full look at the forecast for the rest of the week coming up next on Fox.
Thanks, Jared. Also coming up on Fox 14, destroyed by lightning and fire. Now it's open for business. We'll give you a look inside the administration building at South Arkansas Community College after repairs. And Reston High School is having issues lighting up the night on the football field. We'll look at the issues and how they're working to resolve them before game day. All that and more is up next on Fox 14 News at 9.
Start your day with Fox 14, your morning news.
Preparing you and your kids for the day with the Bus Stop Forecast, showing you how to plan.
The Bus Stop Forecast on Fox 14, your morning news. Sponsored by Creed & Creed, your local injury attorneys.
For the best local coverage of high school football, tune into the Kickoff, Wednesdays on Fox 14.
The Kickoff, tonight at 9:30 on Fox 14. Brought to you by Guerrero & Guerrero, the injury attorney.
Drive a 2019 Ford Ranger with 0 for 60, plus $1,500 bonus cash, only at your Southern Quality Ford dealer.
The Dish voice remote just got even more powerful. Why'd we put so much technology in there?
You don't think I've watched a lot of football? You want to put a little wager on it? Bet.
So you can settle that bet without ever taking your eyes off the game.
How many D1 football teams are there?
What you do with that power?
Oh, it's gotta hurt.
Well, that is totally up to you.
Don't look so sad, man. Come on, we're having fun.
New Dish voice remote with the Google Assistant. Dish, tuned into you.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available on the next generation 2019 GMC Sierra. Step up to GMC and get over $10,000 total value on this next generation 2019 Sierra Crew Cab SLT. Plus, well-qualified buyers get 3.8% APR financing for 72 months.
See your Monroe area GMC dealer.
I was just driving, and next thing you know, bam, I'm hit by a drunk driver. One call, seriously, it took one call. Creed & Creed answered quick.
If you're going to make one call, make it count. Call Creed & Creed today.
Having trouble getting around? Marie's Medical can help. We offer all type of medical products that will not require major renovations to your home, such as grab bars, shower benches, and other daily assist devices. Marie's Medical in West Monroe.
If you've been involved in a car wreck, call Creed & Creed, your local injury attorneys.
The Animal House is your local pet store. Cypress Street, West Monroe.
Live Storm Tracker Doppler radar, sponsored by bankruptcy attorney E. Orem Young. Now, Storm Tracker weather with Chief Meteorologist Jared Floyd.
Look at the live Storm Tracker Doppler radar brought to you by E. Orem Young. The rain's gone, and we're left with just the ground clutter around the radar site and not expecting anything to really return over the next several days. A few high clouds, and those continue to kind of drift in and out as we've worked through much of the afternoon and early evening. They should thin out as we head through the overnight, but regardless, mostly clear skies, and clear skies generally expected through the overnight. Northerly winds will eventually push drier air in, but a lot of these are mid and high level clouds, so that dry air at the surface isn't really impacting those all that much here in the short term. storm. But again, generally clear skies expected overnight. High pressure across the Ozarks will continue to slowly crawl eastward, probably over the mid-Mississippi Valley by tomorrow afternoon, and then over the Ohio Valley by, say, Friday afternoon. And that will allow a little bit more of a southeasterly and southerly influence on the winds later on this week. As far as the rain totals, the 30-day rain deficit is much more encouraging than it was, say, 3-4 weeks ago when we were showing anywhere from 2.5 to 3 inches of rain deficit for a lot of these areas. Now, granted, this only takes into account what's happened really over the last month, and we're at about a 0.2 of an inch rain deficit in Ouachita Parish, a little over an inch in southwestern Arkansas, other locations a little over a 1/2 inch in central Louisiana, into western Mississippi a little under a 1/2 inch, and just almost a full inch out over the southeastern portions of the state. And you put that in perspective, over the last 30 days, we've actually made decent inroads on kind of knocking out that rain deficit, but when you start stretching out 60, 90 days, still pretty dry in portions of the area. Again, making headway considering the rain that we've seen over the last 24 to 36 hours. Water vapor imagery shows, again, a lot of this leftover mid-level moisture that's streaming in. Really no bother to the forecast as we head through the overnight. Temperatures will still bottom out pretty efficiently. A lot of dry air at the surface continuing to mix down too, and we'll really notice that as we head through the day tomorrow. Temperatures across the area are in the low end of the 50s already at the 9 o'clock hour, so getting into the mid-40s tonight shouldn't be that tough of a stretch. 52 in Monroe, 52 in Vicksburg, 51 in El Dorado and Ruston, 50 in Camden and Monticello, 58 in Shreveport. We'll look for lows tonight, as I mentioned, mid-40s, mainly clear. A few high clouds will hang around with a light northerly breeze. High temperatures tomorrow, topping back out in the low end of the 70s. Plenty of sunshine through the course of the day. Winds shift just a smidge instead of the north out of the northeast through the afternoon. Look at the rest of the forecast as we head through the next 7 days. Again, low to mid-70s for highs as we head toward Friday. The winds back out of the south, and that paves the way to low 80s for Sunday. Next frontal boundary approaches, very active upper level pattern, very fall-like, keeps the cold fronts coming rather frequently, pretty much every 4 or 5 days. So the next one arrives on Monday, and that'll bring some cooler air. Could keep an eye on the severe weather threat. Right now it looks like the better threat will be to our west, but a little too early to jump into specifics on timing, so we'll watch for the possibility of some stronger storms come Monday.
Hey, I mean, today was beautiful.
Yeah, and tomorrow and Friday even better.
All right, thanks a lot, Jared.
You bet.
Coming up on Fox 14, the administration building at South Arkansas Community College has officially reopened to students and staff. We've got an update on the work 18 months after the lightning strike. Stay with us.
You're not holding it by the legs, are you?
No, I'm not. Gorilla Glue.
Of course.
Gorilla Glue is incredibly strong and versatile, even outdoors, for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
One for trash bags. Come on.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Hey, ladies. Buy Hefty Ultra Strong at a low price.
Dada.
I wish.
Get Hefty Ultra Strong. Costs less than Glad Force Flex were sold head-to-head.
It's amazing to think that Parker Auto Body is celebrating 35 years of business. We've been honored to serve our growing community, helping us to become the largest and most efficient shop in the area. Our long-term, well-trained staff, as well as our state-of-the-art facility on Cypress Street in West Monroe, are why we continually receive consumer awards and certifications from over 15 major manufacturers. We are so incredibly thankful to this community and are honored to be trusted to return your vehicle to pre-accident condition with a safe, quality repair.
I work for Entergy.
And I'm committed to my customers.
That means reliable,
Affordable power.
Every year, we save our customers millions.
buying wholesale power at the lowest available cost.
New natural gas power plants ensure lower prices for years to come.
And we're giving you smarter technology to take control of your bill. Entergy Louisiana rates are among the lowest in the state and the nation.
And I'm making sure they stay that way.
Because together,
we power life.
Honda was named the 2019 Best Overall Brand and Best Value Brand by Kelley Blue Book. So when you buy a Honda, you're getting an amazing vehicle for an amazing value. More amazing than Toyota, Ford, and Subaru. Come into your local dealership today and get a great deal on an amazing Honda.
Want to take your X5 to the next level? Now you can with X5 Advantage, giving you enhanced performance and protection. When devices are connected to your home's Wi-Fi, they're protected, helping keep outsiders from getting inside. Plus, you get unlimited data, so you can stream, surf, and game all you want. With confidence, you can get coverage where you need it most. That's X5 Advantage. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $20 a month for 12 months. Or get 4 times the speed for just $10 more a month. Call, click, or visit a store today.
The new sporty GLC.
Come on, we're so late. Hey.
It fights traffic.
There's no parking. I told you. Oh, a spot.
We'll never fail. It fights tension.
Seriously? Did you take my phone?
Passenger light on. It even fights fighting. Innovation that keeps people together. The 2020 GLC. Lease the GLC 300 SUV for just $449 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Shop and experience historic downtown West Monroe.
Fox 14 News at 9 continues.
The administration building at South Arkansas Community College has officially reopened to students and staff. The president told Fox 14's Gabrielle Pfeiffer that the historic building is back better than ever.
This was the damage caused to the administration building at South Arkansas Community College 18 months later, and all has been restored.
And it was a crisis, but we're just thrilled to be back.
Dr. Jones gave us a tour of what's inside, so let's go check it out.
We've got some spaces down here on the first floors for students to hang out a little bit.
That includes the Learning Commons, tutoring and interactive rooms, and computer labs. The second floor will be dedicated to alumni, and the third floor is home to the president herself and features newly remodeled boardrooms.
We could never have imagined to be in spaces that are very much improved from what we had before.
This 114-year-old historical building has been in El Dorado High School, Rogers Junior High School, and a junior college. Former students who went to some of those schools say they remember when they walked these very halls.
My mother went to high school there. I went to junior high there, and we always had choir on the third floor.
The need to keep some of those memories was important. All of the memorabilia and antique furniture was restored. There are new tin ceilings, but they are just like the ones former students marveled when they were in this building. And the plaster, still there.
This is the only one that we have left that's exposed, but it really kind of tells the story.
Dr. Jones hopes this educational building can last another 100 years. In El Dorado, Gabrielle Pfeiffer, Fox 14 News.